Ellis standing in that on-deck circle, hoping that her teammates can get on board, similar to what they were able to do yesterday. A base hit in the walk, and then led to the 3-run home run.
This is popped up foul ground, room over there for Cahalan, and she has it with one away. So here comes Brie Ellis at .488 on the season. You've been a big admirer of hers, and you've been breaking down her swing as well.
Hers is one of those swings that I can watch all day long. The way that she loads up onto her backside, brings up that front leg. When she gets down here, you can see how her barrel is back behind her hands. And when she makes contact, that barrel is almost still back behind her hands. That is the definition of staying inside of the softball. And what she's able to gain from that is not just the backspin and the carry, but also it feels like that softball hangs on her barrel for an eternity. That's where those power numbers come into play for her, and that's how she's able to get 19 home runs.
That OPS is not a typo, by the way.
Insane.
1862. That's legit. We double-checked that. That's how good she's been getting on base, how good she's been hitting, and we know about her power.
And she's able to hit home runs on every single pitch that she sees. The home run that she hit in yesterday's ball game was a 3-2 changeup. So she's not somebody that's going to get fooled easily. She can take rise balls out of the park. She can take curve balls out of the park. She can see and adjust to off-speed pitches out of the hands. Just an elite level hitter this year from Brie Ellis. And we've seen the home run power from her throughout her career. She hit 20 home runs as a freshman, but you see the on-base percentage up over 600, that slugging percentage up over 1,200, and the batting average nearly 500.
Being challenged by Rothrock on the 3-1, and the count's now full.
It's her eye at the plate, too, and the discipline that I feel like has gotten better and better throughout Ellis's career.
67 home runs for Ellis. The 3-2 from Rothrock, slapped foul and out of play. Ellis was 1 for 3 with a walk yesterday. That one was the 3-run home run in the first inning. They got things started for Arkansas. Florida made it a 3-1 game in the 6th on a Shoemaker home run. Then Arkansas got some insurance in the 7th. 4-1 was the final. This is a shot to left center field. Falby got a good jump on it. Moves over and makes the catch. Retreating to first is Johnson, 2 down. Hit hard by Ellis, but Falby was there.
This is a really good swing by Brie Ellis. You can see her teammates high-fiving her as she gets back into the dugout. She made solid contact on that line drive. Really good swing here again. Hands inside of the softball, hits it right on the money. Probably hit it too square on the softball. If she got a little bit more underneath it, might have carried out of here, but it was a nice play by Kendra Falby out in center field as well.
Cleanup hitter today for Arkansas is Kaylee Wyckoff. No Courtney Day today. Out with an injury, was limping around a little bit pregame, so Wyckoff moves up 1 spot from the 5 spot to the 4 spot. Ellis gets a lot of the headlines, but Day's been outstanding. Number 2 on the team in home runs and RBIs. There's usually not a lot of RBIs left after Ellis hits, but no Day today for Arkansas. 1-2 now to Wyckoff at .343 on the season.
And sometimes there can be a lot of pressure put on the batter that's batting right behind somebody that's in that home run hitting role. Coach Courtney Deifel just really excited about the energy that this team brings on a day-to-day basis, and you could feel some of that fun even on the field before the ball game started.
Winning's fun. It was a little bit of a bumpy start to SEC play for Arkansas, but Courtney Deifel told her team, have fun, relax. Just play. This is slapped out to left field. Otis moves over to make the catch to retire the side. 2 from Eugene. 2-0 to Falby, leading the team at .461 on the season. We welcome those of you who are watching Hopkins and Ohio State in lacrosse. Welcome to Gainesville, Florida. Top 15 matchup in softball. Florida, the number 2 team in the country. Arkansas, ranked 13th in the country. Home half of the first inning. The leadoff hitter for Florida, Kendra Falby at the plate. Eric Freed and Madison Shipman with you. Arkansas in the top half of the first. Had a leadoff walk for Reagan Johnson, but then Keegan Rothrock got Kramer, Ellis, and Wyckoff in order. And now Kendra Falby in her familiar leadoff spot for the Gators on a hot day in Gainesville, 88 degrees at first pitch with light wind and bright sunshine. And the freshman in the circle for Arkansas, Peyton Burnham. With a 3-2 to Falby. Back over the pitcher's head, and with Falby's speed, no chance to get her. It rolls into center field, and the leadoff hitter is aboard for the Gators.
As soon as she bounces the ball down into the dirt and it hangs up for even a split second, it's going to allow the speed of Kendra Falby to beat that one out. No problem. She's reached base safely now in all 41 games so far this season. Gets the top half of this ball, and she knows as soon as that ball bounces over Burnham's head in the circle, she's going to be safe all day.
307th hits of her great Florida career. And here is the freshman. Talk about somebody who's getting off to a great start to what promises to be a great career. Taylor Shoemaker, right from day one, has been outstanding for the Gators, Maddie.
She's just really a professional hitter, even at the very start of her college career. Just by the way that she takes certain pitches, you can tell that she has a very good and solid approach to what she wants to go after when she steps into the batter's box. 54% of her hits this year have gone for extra bases.
Team best 14 home runs on the season. Hit number 14 last night. Solid shot to right field. Burnham comes inside and misses. It's 2-1. Burnham making her 10th start of the season, her 15th appearance. She's got 8 wins, 54 innings of work. Opponents hitting 197 against the freshman this year. That misses for a ball. It's 3-1.
That 57-mile-per-hour pitch, that's that changeup that you're going to see from Peyton Burnham, and she just hasn't been able to locate that pitch so far consistently to Kendra Falby, and now Taylor Shoemaker missing a little bit in the top part of the zone with that pitch.
3-2 now to the freshman. Talked about the great start for Shoemaker. 8 home runs in her first 11 collegiate games, 23 runs batted in, 18 hits. Welcome to Division I softball, but you can just tell right from that first week she was Division I ready from the start.
And making it look easy, too.
Sure did. Falby was on the move, fouled off. We'll do the 3-2 again.
I was curious to see how aggressive Florida was going to be early in the ball game, because a similar situation came up in yesterday's game where Kendra Falby got on base and then she was caught stealing at second, and it really felt like a momentum shift in that game, especially after Arkansas had just gone up 3-0.
Falby on the move again, and it misses for ball 4. So 2 are aboard here to get things going for Florida in the first. Shoemaker's aboard with the walk. Falby down the second. And that'll bring up Jocelyn Erickson, 0 for 3 last night in the 4-1 Arkansas win. Erickson at 346 on the season with 9 home runs. Of course, the SEC Player of the Year and the first-team All-American a season ago. Strike 1. Brought in a Florida record 86 runs last year. The 0-1 from Burnham. Hot shot to short. Rijo with the flip to second for 1. They turn the double play. You can talk about the pitching depth for Arkansas. You can talk about how they can hit 1 through 9 in the lineup. But this is the #1 fielding percentage team in the country. The defense has been great.
They are just so solid all the way across the field, and Natalia Rijo getting this one in a hurry. A hard hit off of the bat of Jocelyn Erickson right to Rijo at shortstop. The quick flip over to Davidson in the 6-4-3 double play now. 2 away, and they're 1 out away from getting out of this inning.
Corbiota steps in and takes strike 1. Arkansas did not commit an error in the Kentucky series last weekend. That was a series sweep for the Razorbacks in Fayetteville. They've committed just 12 errors all season. Their fielding percentage, .985. As I said, #1 in Division I.
That's got to give your pitchers a lot of confidence in the circle, too, especially with as many young arms as Arkansas has in the circle, just to be able to free them up to throw their pitch and rely on the defense.
One and two to Otis, who was 1 for 3 last night. Back up the middle, 2-out single for Otis brings in a Florida run, 1-0 Gators in the first.
That swing right there and that hit, that 2-out hit by Corby Otis is something that this Florida offense needed to be able to come through with runners in scoring position. And this is a rise ball on the outside part of the plate, but Corby Otis' swing is tailor-made for pitches up in the zone. She goes right after that one, drives it straight back up the middle to give the Gators the 1-run lead.
25th RBI of the season for the senior. Did it on a 1-2 pitch as well. Here's Reagan Walsh. Walsh at 300 on the season, 9 homers, 36 runs batted in, 0 for 3 in Game 1 Friday night. 1-1. Gators have been looking for the timely hit the last couple of games, Maddie. They had the midweek at Florida State, had the bases loaded with 1 out in the first inning, couldn't score a run, ended up getting shut out by the Seminoles. Then last night is a fly ball heading towards foul ground and out of play. Last night they couldn't get much going against Robin Herron, who's been really good in the circle for Arkansas. But they come through with a 2-out single here in the first to jump out to a 1-0 lead. Two and two. This one.
Back-to-back big swings by the Florida Gators in the bottom of the first inning of this ball game. They needed to come through with runners in scoring position. They get to 2 outs, they get to 2 strikes, and they're still putting big swings on the softball. This one a changeup outside to Reagan Walsh, and she's able to drive it out to left field. Even took a moment. She thought that ball was caught out in left field, saw the umpire's signal that it was out of the ballpark, and it's a 2-run shot for Reagan Walsh to extend their lead.
Home run number 10 on the season for Walsh. Good 2-out hitting for the Gators. This is a fly ball to shallow center field. The shortstop, Rijo, goes out to make the catch. Good 2-out hitting for Florida coming through. 2 coming in Omaha during Florida's run to the semifinals of the Women's College World Series. Freshman Ella McDowell leading things off here in the top of the second for Arkansas. McDowell having an excellent start to her career, 354. This is popped up and playable. Cahalan in foul ground, 1 down. Well, we know Keegan Rothrock threw a ton last year. 33 wins, 45 starts, 50 appearances, 262 innings pitched. That's up for ball 1 to Rijo. She was outstanding.
I felt like she got better and better as the season went on, too, and she had to throw, like you mentioned, those 262 innings pitched last year, but I like the 201 strikeouts, too. Just showing you that she's able to get that swing and miss on the rise ball. She'll mix speeds, too, which is something else that I feel like makes her pitches even more efficient. That drop ball coming in about 68 miles per hour, so she's bringing that consistent velocity, too, something that batters are having to time up. That's a prime example. That's that drop ball right there that she's able to pump in there for a strike after falling behind.
Her last 3 appearances before stepping aside after that February 22nd appearance, her whip was 143. That's very high for her. This is a fly ball to the left fielder, Otis, and Rijo is retired. 2 down here in the second.
And it felt like she threw pretty well against Florida State earlier this week, too. It was just...
Gave up a couple home runs, 3-run shot.
Janai Kerr with 2 home runs in that ball game against her.
Yep.
One of the home runs on a rise ball, the other one on a changeup. And sometimes batters are just seeing the ball incredibly well. You just tip your cap when they're able to make good swings on good pitches.
I mean, even with that bumpy stretch before she missed that time, all told, her whips sub-1, .88 coming into play here today for Keegan Rothrock. Sophomore from Indiana, freshman of the year in the SEC last year, third-team All-American. Made the return against Auburn last weekend, went 4 2/3 last Saturday, 7 strikeouts, 4 hits, 1 walk. 90 pitches. And as we mentioned, the start against Florida State went 6 innings, gave up 5 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned. Just 1 walk and 91 pitches. Just getting a piece is Davison. Junior plays second base, 278 on the season. One and two. For all the success Arkansas has had against Florida in the series in recent years, they did not meet last year. So Arkansas facing Keegan Rothrock for the first time. 1-2. Ooh, came inside and hit her.
Those last 2 pitches looked like Keegan Rothrock was trying to work that drop ball low and inside to Davison. Barely missed the pitch before this, and this one just gets away from her, just slips out of her hand a little bit too soon. Right on that left knee. She hustled down that first baseline. Looks like she's all right, standing over at first.
Just the 5th hit batter for Rothrock this season. We talk about her impeccable control. Usually doesn't let anything get away from her like that. So Davison's at first, and here is Carly Ratliff. 12th game of the season for Ratliff, 2 for 8 at the plate. Put into the lineup today with the absence of Day due to injury. Oh, back-to-back hit batters as Ratliff, the number 8 hitter, is hit by Rothrock.
Another pitch where she's trying to work the inside part of the plate. This one up in the zone with that rise ball getting away from her. Another 2-strike count here. And Ratcliffe's just hit right on that left arm with the rise ball.
Tim Walton's going to come out. I was just going to ask you because you know everything.
I don't know about that.
You definitely don't know the answer to this. Has Keegan Rothrock ever hit back-to-back batters?
I don't have off the top of my head.
That's got to be close to a first, if not a first.
Yeah.
Tim
and
Walton's
especially
even.
after getting ahead in the count, too.
Yeah.
Both of those were 2-strike counts. And for pitchers, they need to be able to establish that inside part of the plate, and those pitches just getting away from her.
So Ratcliffe gets hit. Davison is down to second. And here is Kennedy Miller. Strike 1 to the number 9 hitter, 208 on the season. For 2 last night with a strikeout. Eastman Williams calls for it. Dup, he's got it to retire the side. So the hit batters do not bother both the Gamecocks and the Huskies. Very impressive in their semifinal victories. South Carolina over Texas, UConn over number 1 overall seed UCLA. So it'll be the Huskies and the Gamecocks for a second time this season coming up tomorrow up the road in Tampa. Mia Williams to lead things off for the Gators. This is popped up left side, foul ground. McDowell, 1 away. Talked about the pitching depth for this Arkansas team and how things weren't really going to plan at the start of SEC play. I mean, you get Oklahoma on the schedule. That's going to throw off a lot of plans. But you talked to Courtney Deifel today, Madison, just about what was the change. And really, it was just relax, have a little fun.
When you watch this Arkansas team play Ole Miss, their first series in conference play, it looks like a completely different team than what we're seeing here in April against the Florida Gators.
Another pop-up on the infield. Another chance for McDowell, who chases Burnham out of the circle. 2 down.
They ended up losing the first 2 games of that series to Ole Miss, and they made some defensive mistakes, which is very uncharacteristic for this team, but they were also walking a lot of batters too. So that combination of things led to a couple of Ole Miss wins, and then they were able to bounce back game 3 of that series and put up 20 runs. But I do feel like you've seen this team evolve over the course of the last couple of weeks, playing with a ton of confidence and having a lot of fun. And Coach Courtney Deifel said that that's a big key for this team, is they have to have fun when they're out there.
Now, this SEC season, more than any other before, it is a lot of fun for us softball fans because every weekend is another championship-level series. It's not fun for the coaches who have to prepare for another top-ranked team weekend after weekend.
And you know these athletes live for the competition out there on the field, but there's no doubt about it that conference play is a grind, not just every single game, but every single pitch of every single game.
2-1 the count to the number 9 hitter, Riley Holtorf.
Just one pitch can change the course of an entire ball game, whether it's going from a 2-1 count to a 1-2 count. Against teams of this caliber, every single pitch counts.
Burnham pulls the string, 2-2. Hammered foul, and somebody's clipboard or scorecard went flying.
Let's see. Everybody okay over there?
Ooh.
Looks like Francesca Anea's clipboard that went flying out into the field.
She was
just barely
using it
missed her.
as a shield for a brief second.
Reagan Walsh making sure Francesca's okay.
Are you
there.
disappointed she didn't make a play on that?
That ball was coming over there so hard that you do whatever you can to just shield yourself, even if you have to use the clipboard to shield yourself from that foul ball. Francesca, 3-time All-American at Florida. Yeah, she's practicing for the next foul ball, or she's saying hit it into fair territory.
Next thing is you got to make sure you have the most durable clipboard that money can buy if you're going to use it as a shield.
Looks like a ball on the batter was called on that pitch, timing violation.
1-2-3 inning for Peyton Burnham. 3-0 Florida. We'll talk with Courtney. Of course, that jumps out to everybody as it should. And I'm just like, I remember your walk-up song. I like to remind players a lot, whatever sport I'm doing. Like if there's someone who is an All-American, like who's on their coaching staff that, you know, they don't know how great they were. I like to go remind them, oh, do you know how great your coach was, or how great that player was, or, you know, how great Madison Shipman was?
Well, now you're keeping track of everybody's walk-up songs now, too. I've got to add another section on my charts that I fill out.
You told me more than once what your walk-up song is, but it's not as memorable as "Won't Back Down" by Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers.
I know you're a big Tom Petty fan, so that's.
What's your walk-up song again?
Wobble.
Wobble.
Yeah.
No, not on my playlist. Top half of the third inning, 3-0 Gators. Top of the order for Arkansas. Reagan Johnson walked her first time. This is trouble. No way you're going to get Johnson with her speed. By the time it got into the glove of Cahalan at third, Johnson was stepping on first. Leadoff infield single.
Those are now much more enjoyable for me now that I'm in the booth and I'm not sitting on the infield just waiting for those high choppers to reach the ground, because that's such a good job by Reagan Johnson, using the ground to your advantage. When it's popping up high enough, no infield has a chance to even make a play on you.
I have to imagine it feels like time stops if you're an infielder waiting for that ball to come down after a chop like that.
It's almost as if time stops in the sense of the ball coming back down to the glove, but you can still see the runner motoring down that first baseline. So on one end, you've got it in fast forward. On the other end, it's in slow motion. Nothing you can do.
1-1 the count to Reagan Kramer, who fouled out her first time. This is a solid single right center field. It'll get down.
Reagan Kramer is somebody else who's really stepped up big in this Arkansas lineup, batting well over 300 this year. She's somebody that likes to crowd the plate a bit, and Keegan Rothrock goes with this rise ball that's on the outer half of the plate, and she's able to pull this one into the right center gap. Kendra Falby was shaded a little bit more towards left field, and because she was able to get it into that gap, Reagan Johnson motors all the way around to third base, and now runners on the corners. Perfect setup for Brie Ellis.
And this is what Brie Ellis did in her first at-bat last night with 2 runners on in the first inning, a 3-run shot, and it was a tape measure shot.
Got to a 3-2 count, and Oxley tries to throw her this changeup on the outer half of the plate, and the way that she's able to get around this pitch and send it not just out of the ballpark, but beyond the pitching lab out in left field just shows you how much power that Brie Ellis has when she swings the bat.
Her 19th home run of the season. She steps in, runners on the corners, nobody out here for Arkansas. Rothrock comes inside for ball 1. The 6 outs recorded by Rothrock so far today have all been flyouts. She could use a ground ball right now. She gets a strike, it's 1-1.
Teams recently have really been working her on the inside part of the plate, trying to make sure she's not able to get that extension when she swings the bat. And you know, too, as a hitter, when you see that defense out there and the way that the whole infield is shaded towards the left side of the infield, that you're pretty much going to see an inside pitch when you step up there. See Mia Williams at second base, practically planted right on top of second base, and Reagan Walsh pulled off of that first baseline.
Comes inside again. This one misses. The count now 2-2 to Ellis. Ellis hit it hard her first time. Lined out to Falby in center.
It won't go down as the hardest hit off of the bat of Brie Ellis, but it's just as effective for her up at the plate. Again, it's another pitch that's on the inside part of the plate. This one more of that rise ball working inside. It gets jammed up and drops it right in front of Kendra Falby out there in center field.
3 straight hits for Arkansas to get things going here in the third, and here's Wyckoff. Strike 1. Kaylee fly to left her first time. Brought in an insurance run in the 7th inning in the 4-1 win for Arkansas last night. 1-1. One and two. Slap to foul ground. It's going to get down before Otis can get over there. We'll do the 1-2 again.
A lot of pitches from Rothrock on that arm side of the plate. We saw them inside to Brie Ellis, and now these pitches away from Kaylee Wyckoff. Hit that hard line drive, her last at bat on another pitch that was away. Seems like they're staying there again in this at bat.
This one is hit to the right fielder. Drifting over is Shoemaker. Tagging at second and heading to third is Kramer. First out of the inning as Wyckoff flies out for a second time. One away.
Tried to get her lean in, thinking that she was going to come back away. That's all she had seen in that at-bat prior to that last pitch, and jammed her up on that fly ball. Good base running, though, by Kramer to advance to third base.
Strike one to Ella McDowell, the freshman. Popped out to foul ground last time. SEC co-freshman of the week. And had a great start to the weekend last night, going 3 for 4 in the Arkansas win. This one is hit well to left field and back. Otis looking up and...
Coach Courtney Deifel wanted to see her team put better swings on these pitches, and that's exactly what they have done in the top of the third inning. After stringing together a couple of base hits, this one is a rise ball that leaks back over more towards the inside part of the plate, and Ella McDowell is all over this pitch. She gets her barrel on top of that rise ball and drives it out of the ballpark to give Arkansas the lead in the top of the third.
She was smiling when she barreled that up. The smile got wider. That's something Courtney Deifel has talked about with the freshmen. She's at her best when she's smiling, having fun, letting her personality out. Well, she got the barrel out, and then the personality followed after that. 3-run home run for McDowell, her 6th home run of the season.
And she's a freshman that plays with a lot of confidence. You can tell by that swing, too, that she just took off of Rothrock.
That's off the glove of Walsh, who heads over to first, but no play for Florida as Rijo is aboard.
Florida has struggled a bit more defensively this season than what we've seen from them in years past. And this is a ground ball over to Reagan Walsh, who's playing a little bit off of the line. Looks like she's going to have that one, but because she tries to prevent her body from taking that extra step, she's not able to get glove completely on that softball. And it skips away from her and allows another runner to reach base.
They do scored an error on Walsh into Maddie's point. Fielding percentage for Florida, 10th in the SEC at .970. That's their 32nd error of the season, 5th most in the SEC. So conversation in the circle. Stephanie Van Brakel, pro throw, out there to talk it over with Rothrock and Erickson and the infield. Ava Brown in the pen. Four hits in the inning, and Rijo reaching on an error. We'll bring up Davison.
Davison was hit by a pitch in her last at bat. Both her and Carly Ratcliffe hit by pitches in that second inning.
Ball one to Carly. She was left stranded at second in the second inning. 1-1. That's slapped out and down. Fair ball to right field. Rijo hesitated around second. It's going to cost her. Base hit for Davison, but Shoemaker came up throwing and gets the assist, 2 down.
This is a really nice throw from Taylor Shoemaker out in right field. Here's Rijo getting a read. This one hits the ground in right field, and right here she just slows up just for a second, turns around, turns her head towards right field to get a look at that ball out to right. That's where you got to have your eyes on your coaches the entire time. As soon as you're running to second, that play is behind you, so you shift your eyes to Coach Courtney Deifel over at third base, and you just trust her decision on whether or not she's going to send you to decide whether or not you're going to advance to third base. And just that split second of hesitation made the difference on that play.
Wasn't a lot, but it was the difference in that play. So the assist for Shoemaker and right, 2 down, and 1-1 the count now to Ratcliffe. Play, do the 1-2 again. Johnson started it with an infield single. Kramer followed with a single. Ellis, an RBI single. made it 3-1. And after Wyckoff flied out, Ella McDowell hit a 3-run home run to left center to put Arkansas in front. That misses. It's 2-2. Could have potentially been a bigger inning for Arkansas. Not over yet. But an out registered at third base.
I think about that base running too, and all the thought process that goes into base running before the play even happens. You got to be taking a look to see where the outfield is playing, how deep are they all the way back towards the wall, because then you can read that ball off of the bat and know immediately that Taylor Shoemaker is not going to be able to make that catch.
Freshman ready with her first pitch to Falby, who singled and scored in the first. Ball one. Since giving up the home run to Reagan Walsh, 4 in a row retired by Burnham. One area where the freshmen struggled a little bit, Madison, heading into this game, and it's an added challenge against a hitter the caliber of Falby. Leadoff hitters are hitting .357 against Burnham this season. Falby got a hit in the first. Williams was retired leading off the second, but something that Burnham's had to deal with a little bit, trying to work out of jams, and now you're facing a batter who does nothing but get on base throughout her Florida career.
I think I've been impressed too with Kendra Falby's plate discipline and how it's continued to improve throughout her career at Florida. Look all the way back to her freshman year, she ended up with 44 strikeouts so far this year, only 6 strikeouts on the season.
Third member of the 300 hit club at Florida. Now number 2 on the all-time list. Also number 2 on the all-time stolen bases list behind former teammate Skylar Wallace. 6 behind, heading into play today. 2-2 to Kendra. Miller thought maybe they had it, wondering where it was as she checks with the plate umpire Tom Meyer.
Taking another look at this pitch here. Let's see where it ends up. Looks like it crosses right at the knees. Miller was ready to fire that one down to third base.
That slap foul.
Falby not taking any chances on the next pitch.
No.
That one a little bit higher, so she goes right after that one.
Mentioned it before, this is game number 41 for the Gators, and Kendra has been on base in each and every one of the Florida games this year. That just misses, and she's aboard again.
Those are the types of pitches there where maybe earlier in Kendra Falby's career you'd see her go after that one, but she takes it knowing that the low part of the zone not being called. So she takes that one for ball 4, and she's able to get on base again in this ball game to try to get something going for the Gators.
Shoemaker walked her first time. Second walk of the series for the freshman. 1 for 2 last night with a walk. Off speed, 1-1. Chop towards second, the flip to the bag, and that is in time to get the force. Davison to Rijo, 1 away. No protest from Falby or from Walton looking for a replay or a review.
Tough play for Davison because she has to spin behind her and then tosses it underhand to Rijo. Watching that one live, it did look like they just barely got Falby just in time.
Erickson grounded into a double play her first time. The 11th double play turned by Arkansas's defense this season. That's chopped. Ellis snags it, steps on the bag, 2 down. Shoemaker will take second.
Nice play by Brie Ellis over at first base. Another chopper that's hit pretty high off of the ground, and Ellis times this one up and knows that she's not going to have the play over at second base. Very smart to grab that one out of the air and turn around and get that sure out at first.
2 outs and a runner on second for Otis. Ball 1. Talk with the Hall of Famer, Florida head coach Tim Walton, after this half inning. One.
See if Burnham decides to stay away from the rise balls to Corby Otis here. She smoked that one right back up the middle. 2-strike count, got a rise ball right at the letters as she was able to hit out to center field for a base hit. There's that changeup down in the dirt. Nice job by Kennedy Miller keeping it in front.
Three and one. It's in there for a strike. Count is full, 3-2 with 2 down. Slapped out to right field, slicing foul. Otis last year, first team all-conference in the SEC, all-American season when she led the team in hitting at .434. This one is hit well to center field, but Johnson is there. And that will do it for Florida here in the third. 1-run game as we head to the fourth. We'll talk to Tim Walton next.
Get it more on the long hop, but a difficult decision. She got caught in between and another base runner on.
You played the position, of course, and I know your mindset was attack ground balls. Don't let them play you. That's what you're coached from a young age. That's laid down and foul, the bunt attempt by Johnson. But you've got that split second where sometimes it's in between and then...
It's what you're reading it right off of the bat. And when I was playing professional and I got to play with Natasha Watley, she really opened my eyes to reading the hops and even taking a step back, even from that shortstop position.
Another one to short. This one knocked down. The throw's not going to be in time as Johnson with the speed is on for a third time today. 2-on with nobody out here in the fourth.
Another ball that's hit really hard off of the bat of Reagan Johnson, and it just goes right to Holtorf again. She's playing up in that baseline, takes a couple of steps to her right, and it looks again that last hop just catching her on the mid-hop, maybe getting her on the heel of the glove. So because she wasn't able to field it cleanly and you've got the speed of Johnson moving down that baseline, you give her any split second and she's going to be able to leg it out.
We'll have a pinch runner for Miller as looks like Casey Wood will come on to run. Yep, there's Casey. The sophomore will take over at second base. They scored a single for Johnson.
I think if you ask Holtorf if she needs to field that ball, I think she would tell you yes, even though it was hit pretty hard off of the bat. I think if she fields that one cleanly, she's able to get Johnson out at first.
One the count to Kramer. Fouled out in the first, singled and scored in the third. One and two. Keegan Rothrock in the first 2 innings threw 38 pitches, didn't give up a hit, but threw 32 pitches in that third inning. Gave up 5 hits and 4 runs. Really had the work, and she's working again here, Madison, in the fourth.
A couple of extra outs that we've seen the Gators give Arkansas in this ball game.
Called strike 3. Looks like maybe it was up in the zone, and Kramer is retired. 1 away.
If you're Rothrock, you're going to take that call all day long. Coach Courtney Deifel not happy about that called third strike up in the zone. That rise ball maybe just at the top of the letters. Nice job by Jocelyn Erickson, too. That last flick of the wrist to try to bring it a little bit lower down in that strike zone, and they're able to get the call.
Ellis sends one to left, hit hard, and another Brie bomb home run. 5-3 Arkansas.
This one just absolutely smoked off of the bat. Actually gets a little bit of topspin on this ball, and that's why it doesn't carry out of the ballpark. Hits right off of that wall out in left field, and she hit it so hard that it made that play at home plate with Wood coming around third base a lot closer than I thought it was going to be initially when that ball went to the outfield, but nonetheless, a run comes across. And I like the aggressive swing by Brie Ellis, too, knowing that Rothrock's had to throw a lot of pitches. She's trying to get ahead, and she goes after the first one.
Just watching that replay, and you pointed out the topspin, how she was on top of that with that topspin. I'm shocked it stayed in the air that long and hit the top of the fence.
Well, and she's not getting topspin because she's swinging on top of the ball. That's not how she's able to create that in that specific pitch. But the way that her barrel angle just naturally goes towards the softball, she's actually coming up on that ball and she's hitting the top of it, which is creating that tumble, which is pretty crazy to think of, just unique with her swing. And that's why she's able to hit the ball so hard. That's why she's able to keep the barrel back behind her hands. Just such a strong and smooth swing, too.
3-1 the count to Wyckoff. Fouled off of the catcher, Erickson.
Got to spend a lot of time with Coach DJ Gasso talking about.
We almost had to hold up first pitch because whenever Madison corners a hitting coach, it can go on for a while. That's foul.
Well, I just love talking hitting, and I love hitting too because there's no just one right way to do it. Everybody has a unique swing. Everything is different for a particular hitter and what they like to go after in their swings. And we were talking a lot about Brie Ellis and her swing and how she generates a lot of her power from her upper body. So she's very rotational with her swing. Traditionally, you think of power for a softball player and a softball hitter coming from their lower body, but she's able to generate that type of power from her upper body.
I think that was ball 4, was it not?
Yeah, there we go. Ball 4.
Everybody's on the same page now, and the bases are loaded for Arkansas. And look who's coming to the plate. I'm going to assume she's probably smiling because she was smiling the last time. Wyckoff's down at first. Ellis at second. Johnson at third. And here's Ella McDowell. McDowell hit a 3-run home run her last time, her 6th home run of the season. That's out of play, and it's 1-1.
Rally cups, rally caps.
Would just put something cold in there and turn it upside down and pour it on my head right now at 88-degree day. One. 2-1. Erickson wants to head out and talk to Rothrock.
Missing a bit with these pitches, and she's fallen behind in these counts. Been a couple of times where it looks like she's just missing her spot. Maybe that rise ball or that curve ball's just fallen out of her hand a little bit too soon. Also could be talking strategy because they've got Ella McDowell, and this is what she did back in the 3rd inning. This is a pitch up and outside, and she's able to get around it and drive it out to left field. 2-run home run back in the 3rd inning. Now she finds herself in a really good position for Arkansas to drive in some more runs in this inning.
Three and one and nowhere to put McDowell. Ball 4, Arkansas scores another run.
Nice at bat by the freshman again, and it would be easy in that situation to try to hit the grand slam, to try to make the big swing with the bases loaded, but instead you just take what the game gives you. Rothrock not able to find the strike zone, so she takes her walk and another run comes across.
Another visit to the circle from Van Brakel Prothro. So 4 RBI for Ella McDowell. That gives her now 32 on the season. Mentioned before, co-freshman of the week in the SEC. Staking her claim to make it back-to-back awards after the 3-run home run in the 3rd, the RBI walk in the 4th, and going 3 for 4 in game 1 of this series last night.
Made some nice plays defensively, too. A diving play over at third base. The response from Arkansas in this game, too, after winning yesterday's ball game, Florida comes out in the 1st inning, puts up a 3 spot, and now 6 straight runs in this game have gone for Arkansas.
Long conversation in the circle, finally broken up now. Rothrock's thrown 92 pitches. I mentioned she threw 91 in the start against Florida State on Wednesday. And 90 against Auburn in return to the rotation last weekend. And starts with ball 1 to Rijo. Rijo 0 for 2, reached on an error in the 3rd. 1-1. McDowell at first. Wyckoff at second, Ellis at 3rd. Bases loaded for the Razorbacks with 1 out here in the 4th. Out of play.
Just looking back through this game, Eric, and just the extra batters already that Keegan Rothrock has had to face. She's walked 3 batters, she's hit 2 batters, and there have been 2 recorded errors, 3 plays that I thought should have been made by the defense. One of them was recorded as a base hit. But that's a lot of extra at-bats for the opposing team. That's a whole other time through the order already that Rothrock's had to throw.
Think about it, too. Rothrock this season, coming into this game, had walked a total of 7 batters this season. We talked about the walks here today, the back-to-back hit batters, the errors extending things out as well. Yeah, it's been a long day, and we're only in the 4th inning.
Even back to that 1st inning, too. Arkansas wasn't able to get anything across, but some long at-bats to start off this game.
Rijo called out on strikes. 3rd strikeout for Rothrock, 2 down.
Rothrock still working out there, trying to get herself out of this jam. This rise ball that she's throwing at that mid-level, so not way up and out of the zone, but that's the pitch that she's able to get people guessing that it's going to end up and outside for a ball, and got her looking for the 3rd strikeout on the day.
"32 pitches last inning, 30 this inning for the sophomore. Davison was hit by a pitch in the 2nd, singled in the 3rd. 1-1.
And being patient must be part of Arkansas's game plan, too, against Rothrock. It's interesting, all 3 of the strikeouts that Rothrock has recorded all have been strikeouts looking.
1-2. Swung on and missed. Rothrock will leave the bases loaded, but of their last 18 SEC road series.
Not easy to play on the road in general, especially
yes.
in the SEC.
I asked Courtney Deifel about it. She didn't have an explanation, but you can start talking through things. All right, you're on the road, the team's together. You know, you've got that routine where you're all in a hotel and you're coming over for BP in the morning as Walsh walks on 4 pitches, and the leadoff is aboard for the Gators. Tomorrow, Sunday Night Baseball, series finale between the Cardinals and the Sox at Fenway, 7 Eastern on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, ESPN Radio. Our coverage starts at 6 Eastern in Boston with Baseball Tonight's Sunday Night Countdown. Sox won on opening day yesterday over St. Louis.
They've won 3 in a row now. Devers hit pretty well.
Yeah, a slow start for Rafi Devers.
He's hit pretty well during their last 3 games.
I think it was 0 for 16 with 12 strikeouts. That sound right? That's not a good start. Only one way to go from there. Got on track in Baltimore and kept it going in Game 1 Friday. So you'll see Sox and Cards coming up tomorrow. Right now you're seeing Peyton Burnham work to Kenley Cahalan with a runner on and nobody out here in the 4th. Two and 1. Cahalan popped out to short her first time.
She's been able to put up some really good numbers for Florida this year after transferring over this season from Alabama. Came into this ball game batting over 340 with 8 home runs. A couple of mechanical tweaks that I've noticed with her swing and just her ability to be able to keep her barrel behind the ball a bit more consistently this season. Allows her to drive the ball all over the field and take some walks if the pitcher is going to give them to you.
Back-to-back walks issued by the freshman. So Walsh and Cahalan aboard to start things here in the 4th inning.
Robin Herron getting loose in that Arkansas bullpen.
She went the distance yesterday, and I think they're going to change out the communication system here. Courtney Deifel calls pitches from the dugout. Saw Burnham get out of trouble after giving up those 3 runs in the first. Saw Herron leave the bullpen to head to the dugout. I don't know if a change is coming here. Courtney Deifel's looking over towards the end of the dugout. Maybe we do have a pitching change coming here.
I initially just thought it was going to be the pitch communication
changing
system.
out the watch. And Matt Michael was just talking to the plate umpire, and Burnham's got the look of somebody waiting to be relieved, and that is the case. And the winner last night will come on here for Arkansas. Robin Herron went the distance, 4-hitter yesterday against Florida. She comes on here in the 4th. We'll tell you about the new Arkansas pitcher when we come back to Gainesville.
Check it out.
He showed up with Pizza Hut's Cheesy Bites Pizza and his A game. Slicing through the lane, feeding the post. Best delivery guy ever, Peter Zahut. The Cheesy Bites Pizza and new Ranch Lovers Flight. Get it on the Pizza Hut app.
Dreaming of getting to the big game?
I wanted to go since I was a kid.
Try Priceline and get a last-minute flight deal. Travel safe, man. Child. Priceline.
Dad, I'm a genius. I figured out how to make us penguins fly.
That's gonna be tricky without wings.
Exactly. That's why I've got Red Bull. It gives you wings. All we have to do is drink it.
And how?
Come on, Dad, just drink it. But why?
Why? It's 40 degrees below. Do you think we're standing here for fun?
Red Bull gives you wings. But only if you drink it.
Aww.
Robin Herron entering the circle for the Arkansas Razorbacks. She got the start in game 1 yesterday, and she was throwing that changeup so well. She has really good depth on that pitch. She's able to work it from one side of the plate. It's crossing over to the other side of the plate, and that in combination with her rise ball and her curve ball that have a little bit more upspin, she has been very effective in the circle throughout the season so far for the Razorbacks. She ended up striking out 16 batters in Knoxville not too long ago.
That was in the opener against Tennessee in that series when Arkansas took 2 out of 3 last night through 113 pitches. Proved to 11-3 on the season after picking up the win. Went the distance, 4 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. As Herron steps into the circle with 2 on and nobody out. And Mia Williams at the plate. Williams shows bunt. Herron misses for ball 1. Those 16 strikeouts against Tennessee tied an Arkansas record in that victory. Made 2 appearances in the Kentucky series last weekend. Gave up 1 earned run, 6 2/3 innings of work. Works her 8th inning already of the Florida series. And is behind 2-0.
Looks like Mia Williams is just trying to lay down a sacrifice bunt here, and Robin Herron not even close to the strike zone on that last pitch.
You would think full take here.
Yeah, you got to be taken all the way here.
Shown by Tim Walton to Williams. And she takes a strike. Just the 2nd strike so far thrown by Arkansas pitching this inning in 13 pitches. Back-to-back, 3-2.
Very quickly works her way back into this count, and that last pitch probably would have been called for ball 4, but Mia Williams went after it.
Which she can do, 12 home runs on the season for Florida. This one is lifted to deep left and back and goal!
Capitalizing with runners in scoring position is something Florida was looking for. Mia Williams, after getting ahead in this count, 3-0, finds herself in a full count, goes after this pitch outside and just pulls it straight out to that pitching lab in left field. Knows she's going to get something elevated. Robin Herron doesn't want to walk another batter, comes right in with that curveball away, and she smacks it out to left field to tie up this ball game. What a season so far for Mia Williams, too. When you look at her numbers across the board, she's pretty much doubled her numbers from last season, already halfway through the year this year. Had 6 home runs last year, up to 13 home runs this year. Continuing to up that run production for the Gators.
Ava Brown will pinch hit here for Comia. She takes ball 1. Now Williams, 6 of her 18 hits last year were home runs. 2 of the home runs came in the SEC tournament, where Florida went on to win their 6th SEC tournament title. That's popped up out of play, and it's 1-1 to Brown. 13 home runs now for Williams this season, and you talked about the big jump, especially in batting average. Maddie, 164 last year, came in hitting 376 on the season today. 1 for 2 today, tying the game at 6 here in the 4th. 1-2 to Brown. Brown, of course, 2-way player for Florida. 8-0 in the circle this year in 20 appearances, 8 starts. Another 1-2. Lays off, it's 2-2. Brown at the plate, 12 hits, 3 of the 12 home runs. Off speed, Brown goes down swinging, 1 away here in the 4th.
There's that changeup from Robin Herron that is such a key pitch for her. It makes every other pitch better. Pulls the string on this one. Such late movement, too, as a right-handed batter. It's going down and it's working in towards your barrel. And that depth there is how she's able to get that swing and miss.
Number 9 hitter Riley Holtorf pulls back for ball 1. Struck out against Burnham back in the 2nd. So Peyton Burnham goes 3 innings plus 2 batters, gave up 3 hits. She's charged with 5 runs. She was responsible for Walsh and Cahalan when she was relieved by Robin Herron. It comes up and in, and Holtorf will take first base.
Just not a sharp of command that we're seeing from Robin Herron since she's entered this ball game. Looks like it hits on that left arm right above that elbow guard, trying to work that rise ball up and inside, and she just lets it get away from her.
Top of the order for Falby. Strike 1. Kendra Singleton scored in the 1st, walked in the 3rd. Oh, and 2. Falby 2 for 3 in this series with a couple of walks. Was 7 for 14 in the Auburn series last weekend.
Eric, you know I love to talk about the offense, but I think watching Kendra Falby rob home runs in center field, I like to talk about that too. Gives me chills just thinking about it, the way that she's able to time it up out in center field.
That slap to 3rd. They look for the force at 2nd, and they get the out there. 2 down here in the 4th.
Now, you wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of those phenomenal plays out in center.
You know, it's just shows your maturity and growth, Madison, because, you know, back in your playing days, you would not feel so good about people robbing you of
No,
home
I would
runs.
not be happy about
No,
that.
But like I said.
It's a win-win up here in the booth, though.
You're celebrating all good plays now. Back in your playing days, it was only the plays that benefited you or your teammates at Tennessee. I understand. Shoemaker 0 for 1 with a walk. That's an interesting move there. Herron looked like she wanted time and then just stepped into it. I don't know if she wasn't awarded time or what happened there.
The timing was a bit off on that one, but she's able to pump it in there.
There goes the runner. Fouled off by Shoemaker, and Falby will head back to first.
Here are these catches that Kendra Falby's making in center. Look at this grab, though. This is, one's at her home field in center field. The other one's at College Station in A&M. Very similar looking plays. One of them, she robbed what would have been a grand slam. Yeah, I'm much happier talking about those now that I'm up in the booth and I'm not the one that was hitting the ball out to center field. But she does make it look easy, though. The way that she's able to get such height off of the ground.
You may have handled the editing on those clips there. There she goes again, and she'll have to retreat after Shoemaker fouls another one back, because we only saw the end result. We didn't see who she was robbing. That would maybe make you feel a little uncomfortable because it's something that didn't work out for the hitter. You're just showing the end result going over the fence.
Well, and as a batter, too, you just got to tip your cap in those moments, right? You know, you're wishing you would have maybe hit it about a foot further, but tons of respect when those types of defensive plays are made.
In on the hands, pop up to Miller, and that will do it. But Florida answers back thanks to the 3-run home run.
Arkansas offense, they're going to have to adjust quickly to now the lefty in the circle that they're seeing.
Carly Ratcliffe leads off, 1-1. First appearance of this series for Miller. Yesterday, Caitlin Oxley, the freshman, got the start, went 6 innings. She was relieved by Kara Hammock in the 7th inning. So Miller, the sophomore from Orlando, made 18 appearances last year. Makes her first appearance of this series. See the numbers for Keegan Rothrock. Went over 100 pitches, 4 innings of work, 7 hits, 5 earned runs, 3 walks, uncharacteristic because she had the 3 walks and 2 hit batters, back-to-back hit batters.
Yeah, she was definitely having to work out there in the circle. Got into a lot of deep counts, quite a few full counts that we saw. Those free passes that you mentioned, but she was really strong in that 4th inning, ending it with back-to-back strikeouts.
Solid shot, fair ball down the line, and now they say foul ball. It was close. No protest from Courtney Deifel or anybody else for Arkansas at the moment. How close was it?
Let's take another look at this one down the line. Hard hit off of the bat of Ratcliffe. Ooh, hard to tell there. Did it hit chalk?
Grounder to third. Cahalan across to Walsh. 1 away here in the 5th. There's the number 9 hitter, Kennedy Miller, popped out to second in the 2nd, reached on an error in the 4th. One's wide of 3rd and foul for strike 1.
Really trying to tie up the hands of these right-handed batters. We're seeing a lot of balls going towards the left side of the field. Miller going to work that curveball in on the hands of these righties.
One to Kennedy Miller. Olivia Miller from Orlando, Kennedy Miller from Georgetown, Texas. 2-1 to the Texan.
You can see
3-1.
Jocelyn Erickson nodding her head back behind the plate saying that's a good pitch. Looks like a backdoor curveball that she's throwing outside. Maybe not quite getting enough over the plate. Florida fans want that one called for a strike, though.
Another one in on the hands, fouled off. Count goes full, 3-2.
Foul ball's heading in Coach Courtney Deifel's direction down that third base line as she takes just a few more steps back into foul territory. I'd be doing the same.
Her quickness, her lateral movement, I think she can still move a little bit. Slow roller to Cahalan. 2 away.
You see that a lot when lefties come into the ball game, the right-handed batters going after pitches that are well inside just because of the angle in which that curveball is coming in towards their barrel. It looks like it's going to hang out more over the middle of the plate, and that last-minute bite gets them in on the hands. And when you get them leaning there, that's when you can work some of the pitches away to get those weak ground outs over to the left side.
Reagan Johnson's been on base 3 times. Walked in the first, reached on an infield single in the third, and again in the fourth. Has scored 2 runs, has scored 3 runs this weekend. 4 for 5 with 2 walks. On her way to another 70-hit season, which would be 3 for 3 in her career at Arkansas.
Just the definition of somebody that sets the tone right at the top of the order for Arkansas, somebody that they need to be able to come through for them, and she has so far today.
This is blooped in foul ground, and Cahalan had a busy inning, and she was 3 for 3 in getting outs for the Gators. 6-6 after 4.5 in Gainesville.
This year, pitchers might not like to hear that as much, but I love to talk about all the offense, all the different swings, and another swing that I always enjoy watching too is Jocelyn Erickson, who we're seeing up at the plate right now. You can see her almost learning and taking in information every single pitch that she sees throughout the at-bat. She'll crowd the plate too. She's not afraid to challenge those pitchers to throw her on the inside part of the plate.
Erickson 0 for 2 today. This is a fly ball. Davison calls for it, puts it away for out number 1. Corby Otis 1 for 2 today. Singled in a run on a 1-2 pitch in the first. Flied out to center in the third.
There's that changeup she's just missing up in the zone with that pitch. When you look in the comparison for Robin Herron last year and this year, you're seeing that changeup usage go up quite a bit from last season. Such a huge piece of her arsenal when she's out there in the circle. Throws it back-to-back, misses just a little bit off of the plate there on that last pitch. Last season, that changeup usage right around 11%. This year, coming into this series, that usage up to 17%.
Little bloop, drifting back and getting the out is Davison, quickly 2 down here in the 5th. Reminder, coming up tomorrow, Women's National Championship game, 3 o'clock Eastern on ABC. South Carolina, the defending champs, taking on UConn, looking for their 12th national championship. Our pregame special will start at 2 o'clock Eastern time. Sue Bird, future Hall of Famer. It was announced. Congratulations to Sue going into the Naismith Hall of Fame. She'll be with Diana Taurasi on ESPN and ESPN Plus tomorrow. Reagan Walsh hit her 10th home run of the season in the first, walked and scored in the fourth. One on one. Popped up. No room here for Miller. And it's 1-2 to Walsh. "19 home runs last year for Reagan, into double digits this year. After that 2-run shot in the first. That's off the plate, 2-2. Robin Herron gave up a 3-run home run to the first batter she faced, Mia Williams, last inning. Off speed, the catcher Miller doesn't know where it is, so Walsh will reach safely after it got away from the catcher in the dirt. So a runner aboard with 2 down.
This swing right by Reagan Walsh here just goes to show you how filthy Robin Herron's changeup is. This pitch bounces in front of home plate. It ends up skipping up and hitting Kennedy Miller right off of the face mask, and she can't find it. Ends up all the way over towards that Florida dugout, and Walsh is able to reach base safely. But you think back to that home run that Reagan Walsh hit back in the first inning, that one was on a changeup as well. So she's somebody that likes to go after that pitch, but she did not see that one out of the hand.
Another one skips up. 1-1 the count now to Cahalan. 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored. Into the glove of Ellis. Makes the catch. The no-look flip of the ball back towards the... Today is Kaylee Wyckoff, usually in the number 5 spot, but Courtney Day, the cleanup hitter, unable to go today with an injury. So it's Wyckoff, who's 0 for 2 today with a walk.
See that slide into the plate?
1-1.
Con đứng xuống đi, con sờ vào của mẹ nhé. Mẹ làm gì chưa? Sờ của mẹ ra xuống nhá.
Fly ball to shallow left field. A little easier degree of difficulty for Otis this time. 2 down.
Still goes down as an out in the scorebook. I always put in my unofficially official personal scorebook little stars next to some of the fantastic defensive plays.
Absolutely. It's a reminder. I've got a star with a circle on it. Get the, that's
you're,
the bonus.
You're one-upping me.
Yeah, the circle is for the slide. You make a sliding
okay.
play. Yeah.
You're one-upping me with the star and the circle. I just have the star on mine.
Yeah. Here's Ella McDowell. A couple of stars on the score sheet for her today. 3-run home run in the 3rd. Walked in a run. And then comes up with another hit. The freshman, 2nd hit today, on base for a 3rd time. And her 5th hit of the series.
You can tell by the way that these balls are coming off of the bat that she is seeing these pitches extremely well, timing them up perfectly as well. This pitch, a curveball that's working inside, and she gets her hands out in front of her, and that's how she's able to barrel up that pitch and send it out to left field.
So conversation in the circle, and looks like Tim Walton wants to come out, just checking to see if time's been called here. Well, Walton comes out, Riho is due up. Ava Brown is in the bullpen. I think we may have a pinch runner for Ellis here. Yeah, that's what's going to happen here. So Ellis, Ava Carter will run for Brie Ellis. And Rio, the left-handed batter, will face the lefty Olivia Miller. Riho 0 for 3 today. Flied out to left in the 2nd. Reached on an error in the 3rd. Struck out looking in the 4th, all against Keegan Rothrock. Set to face Miller for a first time. That's out of play for strike 1. Florida jumped out to a 3-0 lead after 1 inning. Arkansas got 4 in the 3rd, 2 in the 4th, the lead 6-3. Gators answered back with 3 in the bottom half of the 4th inning. That's where we stand right now, but Arkansas with a 2-out threat here in the 6th. Two and 1.
Got that lefty-lefty matchup here with Miller going up against Riho, trying to throw these rise balls, missing quite a bit outside of the zone. Big moment in this ball game. Tie ball game, top of the 6th, 2 outs, 2 on.
That one is going to be out of play into the 2nd row, and the count evens up at 2-2 to Riho. Back as the everyday shortstop for Arkansas, position she had as a freshman. Played just 9 games last year because of a shoulder injury. That's skipped up there. And the count now full 3-2 to Riho. So the runners will be on the move for Arkansas. Back up the middle, it's a base hit, and because the runners were in motion, Falby comes up throwing, and it's a good one. Deifel held the runner, thought perhaps Carter was going to be waved around, but you can show the highlight plays of going over the fence, but Falby with the hard charge, got up quickly and throwing, and that made the difference, and Deifel with the respect put the hold on the runner.
And all the defensive plays, like you mentioned, Eric, all of that plays into why Coach Courtney Deifel decides to hold up her runner at third base. I thought off of the bat she was going to go ahead and send her, but because Kendra Falby charges this one, and look at the throw into Jocelyn Erickson, right on the money. Smart decision to keep her at third base, but a really nice defensive play by Kendra Falby yet again this season.
Oh, you saw how close with her speed she was to the infield dirt.
Absolutely.
Charging that, getting on it quickly, and so the runner had to hold. Pitching change now here for the Gators as Ava Brown will come on for Florida with the bases loaded and 2 outs. So Riho with the single, her second hit of the series. McDowell to second, Carter to third, and Carly Davison will get set to face Ava Brown in the circle.
And this is where the defense for Florida is really going to get tested, with Ava Brown coming into the circle. Threw a lot of really solid innings for Florida last season. You're going to see her throw in the mid-60s, but she's somebody that likes to pitch to contact. She'll work all 4 quadrants of that strike zone, but she's somebody that relies on the defense behind her to help her get out of these innings. And this is a moment, bases loaded, 2 away, where she needs her defense to make a play.
So she'll be the third pitcher of the day used by the Gators. Rothrock started, Olivia Miller followed when inning in 2/3. She's on the hook for the 3 on the bases right now. Brown making her first appearance of this series, made 2 appearances last weekend against Auburn. Went 6 1/3, gave up 6 hits and 3 runs to the Tigers. Big spot here in a tie game with 2 out, and here's Carly Davison. Davison was hit by a pitch in the second, singled in the third, struck out in the fourth. She takes strike 1. Popped up shallow right field. Shoemaker calls for it and gets the out. And Arkansas leaves them loaded in the 6th. Tied at 6 in Gainesville. Appearance for Ava Brown, who takes ball 1.
I wonder, too, if you might start to see some of these batters for Florida sit that pitch, since they got to see quite a few of them in yesterday's ball game, and now they're seeing them again today. But you have to like to hit changeups in order to go up there and sit them.
One and 2. She was sitting changeup there.
Yes, you go after.
You'd go after it, but you weren't.
Yeah, at times when I was sitting changeup too, I would expand the strike zone just because the pitch was a little bit slower, so I wouldn't necessarily look at a location for the changeup.
There's the changeup again. Ground ball to third. McDowell over to Ellis. 2 down.
She's just throwing them so often that you feel like Florida's going to have to try to go after that pitch eventually. Whether you change your timing in your load and your rhythm as a batter to only be on time for that pitch, or if you're maybe a left-handed batter and you're able to see it out of the hand, at some point offensively you're going to have to try to figure out a way to take it away.
There's Holtorf with 2 down. Brings the heat for strike 1.
Of course, easier said than done, and that's why she's had so much success with that pitch.
1-1. Aaron had success last year for Arkansas, 12 wins. Earned her an average of 162. Opponents hit 171 against her last year. This year, opponents hitting 181 against Heron. Hard shot to third, played by McDowell. Arkansas continues to make all the plays in the field. Tied at 6 after 6 in game. Ramsey Walker will run for Ratcliffe. And here's the number 9 hitter, Miller. Thinking sacrifice, offered, missed it for strike 1. Ellis, the number 3 hitter, the number 9 hitter, is at the plate, studying her notebook, doing her homework in between at-bats. And the subject is opposing pitchers. Good bunt, sacrifice, successful. Go-ahead run at second with 1 down for Arkansas as we move back to the top of the lineup for the Hogs.
Textbook sacrifice bunt by Miller to move that runner over into scoring position. She got her bat out early. She watched it down in fair territory. Came off of the bat a little hard. I thought for a second Kenley Cahalan at third base was going to think about throwing to second, but instead she gets the runner out at first base for out number 1.
Here's Reagan Johnson. Strike 1 to Johnson. Walked in the first. Reached on an infield single in the third, again in the fourth. Has scored 2 runs. Fouled out her last time in the 5th. 1-1. Throwing back behind the runner and stumbling back towards the bag and getting it safely was Walker.
Erickson is so quick with those throws to the bases. Has a plan before that pitch is even thrown. Walker caught off guard here at second. I mean, just by her fingertips, barely makes it back into second base. A few less steps on that lead that time around after that throw back to second.
Three and one the count to Johnson. Ball 4, 2 on with 1 out, and Kramer coming to the plate.
The free passes just continue to be a problem for Florida so far in this game. Between the walks and the hit batters, that's now 8 free passes that the pitching has given up in this ball game.
Brown, the 3rd pitcher used by Tim Walton today. Johnson's on for a 4th time, and here is Kramer, who takes strike 1. Kramer fouled out in the 1st, Singleton scored in the 3rd, struck out in the 4th. And great play by Otis to retire her last time in the 6th. Brown battling, now ahead in the count 0-2 with Ellis on deck. Barring a double play, Ellis will get a chance here in the 7th in a tie game. The 1-2 from Brown. Tap back out towards the pitcher. Brown will send it over to first for the out. 2 down, 2nd and 3rd. So now the decision for Florida, first base is empty. Do you pitch against Ellis or give her an intentional walk? I would vote intentional walk.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're asking me, I'm going ahead and putting her over at first base. I'm not even giving her anything close in this at-bat. I would just go ahead and put her on. Yeah, it looks like that's what they're going to do. Jocelyn Erickson set up in that left-handed batter's box. And these are the situations that we talked about earlier where it's so important for these batters that are batting behind somebody like Brie Ellis, because you know it at some point in the ball game, the other team's not going to want to pitch to her, and they're going to want to pitch to you in this situation. And right now, that's Kaylee Wyckoff over in that on-deck circle.
A 1 to Wyckoff. 0 for 3 with a walk, 3 flyouts. That walk came in the 4th inning. Ground ball to Walsh, who will step on the bag, and once again, Arkansas leaves the bases loaded here in Gainesville. That's the 3rd time today. And look who's up for Florida in the bottom of the 7th. Falvey, Shoemaker, Erickson coming up for the Gators. Baseball tomorrow here in Gainesville on the SEC Network. 23rd ranked Vanderbilt in Florida will finish up their 3-game series. Vandy won in 10 innings today, so they've taken the first 2 games of the series. Florida will try to avoid the sweep. Coming up tomorrow, noon Eastern time on the SEC Network. Top of the order for Florida here in the 7th in a tie game. And it's strike 1 to Kendra Falvey. Gators have to feel fortunate that this is a tie game in the 7th, with Arkansas leaving them loaded 3 times here today. Falvey slaps it out to left. He'll hang in the air for Kramer, 1 away.
And with all the walks, the free passes, the hit batters, even a couple of errors defensively.
7 bases on balls, 2 hit batters, 2 fielding errors by Florida.
A lot of extra chances for this Arkansas offense that they really haven't been able to capitalize on for the most part. And now Florida finds themselves with a chance to walk it off in the bottom of the 7th.
13 left on base for Arkansas through 7. Strike 1 to Shoemaker, who went yard last night for the Florida run. 0 for 2 today with a walk. Shoemaker with a team best 14 home runs this season. 1-1.
I'd imagine Robin Herron's just going to continue to work her on the outside part of the plate along with those changeups to see if she can swing at something outside of the zone.
That home run last night came against Robin Herron. The 1-1. 1-2. So if you're the freshman Shoemaker, Maddie, you're at the plate. What are you thinking here? Curveball, changeup?
I'm thinking fast, reacting to the slow, and thinking that she's going to stay away with these curveballs.
Swung on and missed. Herron gets the strikeout, 2 down.
That changeup just seems to get heavier and heavier and working deeper and deeper the longer Robin Herron is in this ball game. Another swing where Florida is just so far out in front that they're not even close to making contact with it.
All 4 of the strikeouts are on the changeup, right?
Yes, all four of her strikeouts today.
Here's Jocelyn Erickson. Erickson grounded into a double play in the first. She's 0 for 3. Looks at a ball, it's 1-1.
Now, if you're Erickson here, I'd be taking a chance that you're going to see a changeup, even with a 1-1 count. After swinging and missing at that rise ball, I'd maybe flip my plan, see if I can go after a changeup.
Popped up. Playable for the catcher Miller, and will play extra innings in Gainesville. 6-6 as we head to the 8th. Ava Brown throws ball 1 to Ella McDowell. Has had a really good game. A couple of hits and a walk at the plate. It's been solid in the field as well. Hit a 3-run home run back in the 3rd. 1-1.
Hits on 2 different pitchers that have been in the ball game. This is the 3rd pitcher that she's faced today. Hit that home run off of Rothrock, and then the base hit off of Olivia Miller. in her last at bat in the 6th inning.
Off of Brown, squibbing between the first baseman and the second baseman. McDowell is safe. That sounded like it hit her hip pretty hard. Cahalan, the first one out there. Kaylin Towers is the athletic trainer for the Gators.
Another hard hit ball off of the bat of McDowell. Line drive right back at Ava Brown. Just no time to react at all.
You know, my first reaction is, what, did it get her on the left hip? Hard to tell. Yeah, she's reaching there.
Looks like she's grabbing at that left hip.
Says she's okay.
Scary moment, though, for the pitchers when those line drives are coming right back in their direction. Just no time to react at all.
It's simple. You want an explanation why they wear the mask?
Oh, right there.
Because
Absolutely.
it's on top of you really quickly. This one caught Erickson, so she's going to need a moment. The battery taking a beating right now for Florida.
A rough start to the top of the 8th inning here.
One to Riho.
Everybody looks to be all right.
Lays down the bunt, maybe a chance at second, not in time. Maddie, you talked about it earlier, that the sacrifice situation last inning by Miller. Cahalan perhaps had a look at second, but took the safe route and went to first. Gets aggressive here on this play, and not in time. First and second, nobody out.
And I think this was an even more difficult play for Cahalan because her momentum is carrying her more towards first base, so she has to throw back behind her body to get this throw over to Holtorf, who's covering second base. Just that momentum carrying her the opposite direction, so you're not able to get as much zip on the throw that you would like to.
We do have a video review right now. It's our first of the game. Call on the field was safe. So Birmingham taking a look right now to see if that is going to be upheld.
Let's get another angle here. Looks like she's in there safe. Great look, too, from that camera angle. Still smiles on Ella McDowell's
Hey,
face.
Ella, sun's out, guns out. Show us.
Seen that all game long. It's a risky play. Yeah.
Riho's aboard on the fielder's choice. First and second with nobody out, and here's Davison. She lays down a bunt. And dead ball is being called here by the home plate umpire, and the out being called by our plate umpire, Tom Meyer. So this is going to be a return trip to Birmingham here.
Out is being challenged by Arkansas and will be reviewed.
All right, the question would be, did she make contact after the bunt? Did the ball make contact with her when she was outside of the box?
Let's see, bunt laid down here, takes off running. Not even close to touching the ball. Not even.
That has to be what they're looking at, right?
It has to be. That's the only thing that I can think of on that play, but didn't look like either foot was even close to the softball.
Yeah, from that first angle, this looks to be a call that will be changed here. It obviously, as you heard, challenged quickly by Arkansas and Courtney Deifel and her trusty assistant, Matt Michael. All right, now from the overhead. It didn't hit the bat.
Did not hit the bat a second time.
Didn't hit her. Fair ball. This should be changed.
Yeah, not even close.
Unless there's an angle that Birmingham is looking at that we have not seen yet. From what we've seen so far, it has to be a change.
It's taking longer than I would have thought it would go into video review.
I don't want to be the one to try to read Courtney Deifel's facial expressions, but the first thing that would come to mind for me is like that wasn't close, is what she said. You know, why are we at a point where it was an out call on the field that it's up for debate with replay? But
and they're still going over it as well.
Well, I've got my handy-dandy rule sheet here just to make sure.
Yeah, the batter out of the box when a batted ball touches them is reviewable.
Here's the call.
After reviewing Birmingham, the call has changed. The ball did not hit the runner. The runner will be placed at first base.
Well, Tim Walton's going to come out. The call we saw was from the plate umpire. I see Walton gesturing down towards first.
Well, he's not happy because the runner now is being placed over at first base.
Good point, Madison.
That's,
good point,
I
yes.
guarantee that's what he's upset about.
Yeah,
Let's take another look at the full play here.
Madison,
So,
great point, because
but I think it's the umpire calls the play dead there, so I'm wondering if that's why they're placing her over at first base, even though she was clearly out on that throw.
and again, that's why you mentioned the longer review, and now the field umpires are together, the three-man crew, to discuss. It feels like, hang on, let's get the call.
Florida is protesting the ruling on the field. We will check with Birmingham and in rulebook to see what the ruling should be.
All right, I want just to let everybody know, get comfortable, because this could take a little while.
I really do think it's because the umpire called the play dead on the field that we're even having this discussion. Had the play played out as normal, then I don't think we'd be having all of this review. Right? But because the play was dead,
and again,
called dead on the
you're
field.
encouraged. I mean, obviously things happen so fast, but you're encouraged. Let the play out, and then if they need to challenge, well, it hit the batter leaving the box. But that wasn't the call here, so we just work with the facts that we have in front of us, and it was called in real time that it hit the runner, and the runner was called out. So you can see why Florida is protesting. You don't hear that word too much, protesting, but Tim Walton has a point here, because you're just going to place the runner. They had a chance. We saw in that overhead replay, like, well, Erickson was on it. They had a chance to get the runner out at first. So it feels like, is it in the rule book, Madison, to say we are just going to reset, go back to where the count was,
even though she's thrown out by a mile.
Yeah,
here,
and just
right?
to say, use the old phrase, like out. I mean, it's not even close, but the word we used to use back in the day was do-over. And like, are we going to have a do-over? Is that? And the umpires have the rule book out right now. They are huddled around the rule book and checking to see what happens here. Madison Shipman has the very same rule book out in front of her.
I carry it with me at all times.
I can make it a triple play and pull my rule book out as well. I just have my little sheet, but this is not on the little cheat sheet for what's reviewable. Yeah, Madison's got.
Oh,
Madison,
I got it.
I've got the little 2-page that Madison's got out the, Madison's got Roman numeral, letter, subhead. She's got that rule book.
This is exactly why I travel with it. I'm not sure if I'm hearing it right, but do the fans?
The chant is out at first.
Do they have an opinion on the play?
I don't know if I've ever heard the chant out at first, but. And Arkansas, although they're fewer numbers, they're trying to counter with the safe at first chant.
But I see the Florida fans' point, though, because she was thrown out
100%.
by at least a couple of steps over at first base. No question that she was going to be out over at first, but it's because the call was ruled dead on the field by the home plate umpire.
Here's what I feel like I need to do right now as a good teammate. I need you to get deep into this rule book like those umpires are right now, and I'll just handle things right now, okay? I'm going to give you a little game recap while Madison reads. What page are you on right now in the rule book? 104. Perfect. We're deep into that rule book. Florida got things going in the first 3-run first inning. The big shot, Reagan Walsh, with a 2-run home run. And the Gators, after losing game 1 on Friday night, had a 3-0 lead, but then Arkansas countered with a 4-run third inning. 3-run home run by Ella McDowell put the Hogs on top by 1, and then they added 2 more in the 4th. Florida countered with 3 in the 4th. Big part of this game has been runners left on base by Arkansas. They've left the bases loaded 3 times. They've had plenty of opportunities to extend the lead, go back in front against Tim Walton's team. But the Gators, even though they've issued 7 walks, a couple of hit batters, 2 errors, they have hung in there. They have their 3rd pitcher of the game in the circle. And right now, for the moment, there are 3 Razorbacks standing on the bases, but in question is what the status is of the runner at first, and that is Carly Davison, who for the moment has been given first base after a video review by the umpires. Courtney Deifel is stepping out to maybe offer a little help here for the umpires. Because we have a very talented multitasking crew. I've been told we are 9 minutes into this delay right now. I've got another question for you because you've seen a lot more softball than me. And I'm not asking you the question yet. Keep reading, Madison. But can Birmingham give guidance on a play on the field that's – I know they went to replay and they said runner safe at first, but because they were involved, it feels like our 3 umpires on the field and whoever is back in Birmingham watching, they can all weigh in on this and all jump into the rule book. We're flipping around looking for pages. Have you settled on a page yet, Maddie?
I found the page where it's hitting a ball a second time, like if the batter runner were to hit the ball a second time after they exit the batter's box. The question here is whether or not they're going to decide to, one, rule in favor of the play was dead, so just awarding the batter the base, or do you go with the play that was played out on the field, which is the out over at first base? That's what you're going.
They went to the NCAA office, and again, we talked about it. Get anybody who's a stakeholder, and Walton's been tossed.
He's upset, and I understand the frustration. That was one of the weirdest, if not the craziest play I've ever seen. And in a moment like this, tie ball game, top of the 8th inning. Yeah, the hat comes off. Not happy about it at all.
I can't blame Tim.
No,
I just feel like in the moment it's like that. What the end result was probably of 3 choices, the 3rd choice that you would have expected in what happened. So They play on bases loaded, nobody out. The head coach has been ejected for Florida.
Yeah, I'm surprised they went in that direction with the ruling to put the runner over at first base.
Fly ball to the left fielder, Otis. Shallow left, not deep enough to get the run in, 1 out. Well, for the Gators, here's a rallying point. Call didn't go your way. Your head coach came out, got his money's worth with the ejection because you can't blame him after what was decided. And now, can the team, obviously the crowd's trying to rally, can the team rally around and get out of those bases loaded, nobody out jam?
And you can be fired up seeing Coach Tim Walton get as heated as he was in that moment and try to use some of that fuel for your fire. You're seeing the communication on the defense for Florida. You're hearing not just the dugout, but the crowd getting involved as well. I gotta say, the crowd was loud before that video review. They have cranked it up about 20 times as loud now.
2-0 the count to Kennedy Miller, the number 9 hitter. Bases loaded, 1 out. There's a strike, it's 2-1. Madison, for the 3rd inning in a row, Arkansas has the bases loaded. Didn't score in the 6th, didn't score in the 7th. Bases loaded, nobody out here in the 8th. Now with 1 down, and 3-1 now the count to Miller. Fouled off, 3-2. For Arkansas, trying to stay locked in here and try to shut out the noise being provided by this Florida crowd. Brown gets the strikeout. She's fired up, 2 down. That's 2, she says. And she could argue that's 3.
What a big pitch for Ava Brown here, going up with this rise ball in this moment. She had to sit out there in the circle for over 20 minutes to resume play, and she goes out and gets a strikeout. Love the emotion, love the fire that you're seeing from her. They are feeding off of this crowd. They're feeding off of the play. They're feeding off of Coach Tim Walton's emotions when he came out heated out of the dugout. Completely changed the dynamic of this ball game.
Reagan Johnson, hard to keep her off the bases today. Walked in the 1st, singled in the 3rd, again in the 4th. The only time she was retired was on a pop out in the 5th, walked in the 7th. Bases loaded, 2 down, the 1-1. 1-2, and the crowd will come to their feet, those in orange and blue, here in Gainesville. Two and 2. Johnson with 2 hits today, 4 in the series, 44 this season. Back to the pitcher, Brown's got it, and Florida gets out of the bases loaded jam again. Otis gets a piece. Corby singled in a run and scored in the 1st. Fly to center in the 3rd, popped out to 2nd in the 5th. Just missed, count goes full, 3-2.
Kind of had a feeling after she swung and missed and fouled that one straight back that we were going to see another changeup. That one just barely missing on the outside part of the zone. She does like to throw them back to back. We've seen that already in this at bat.
Her 4 strikeouts have come on the changeup. She throws it here, doesn't get it. And Otis fired up as she draws a leadoff walk. This Florida fieriness started in the last half inning after the lengthy video ruling and then rulebook ruling. Tim Walton got ejected, and after that, 3 straight outs. Brown got the strikeout, then the soft liner back to Brown. The crowd pumped up, the players pumped up, and now can Florida carry that momentum here to the bottom of the 8th inning in a 6-6 game?
Love all the emotion that you're seeing throughout this ball game, and especially the last half inning. Florida just feeding off of anything that they possibly can.
Reagan Walsh hit a 2-run home run in the first. That's off the hands. It's going to drop in. It's a fair ball. They get the force at second base because the runner had to hold in case it was caught in the air. So Otis is retired. Walsh safe at first. 1 down for Cahalan.
After Reagan Walsh watched that first pitch go by, I wondered if she was sitting changeup. And Robin Heron threw her a pitch up and inside. She was way late on it, got so jammed up. And Otis thrown out, trying to reach second.
Cahalan lifts a fly ball, foul ground heading to the netting, and out of play for strike 1. Cahalan popped out to short in the first, walked and scored on the Williams 3-run homer in the 4th, and lined out to Ellis at first in the 5th. Line shot off the glove of the second baseman. The toss to second for the force as Davison stuck with it, got it to Rijo. 2 down.
Davison sticks with this one. Hard hit line drive. Looked like it was almost going to be a double play. Reagan Walsh had to stop and pause, and then Davison flips it over to Rijo for out number 2. A couple of tough breaks base running wise for Florida.
Walsh and Florida fortunate that it did pop out of the glove because she was so far off the base. Would have been
like
a double play.
Yeah.
So here is Mia Williams, hit her 13th home run of the season against Heron, the first batter that Heron faced in the 4th inning. Two and 0, and here is that swing by Williams.
Went with this rise ball up and away to Mia Williams, and she gets around this pitch to drive it to the pull side. Good hitters count here, 2-0 count for Mia Williams.
Swinging and missing for strike 1.
Little extra heat on that pitch. Rise ball coming in with pretty good velocity from Heron.
Grounded to third, snagged by McDowell over to Ellis with a stretch at first to retire the side. And Ellis limping just a little bit if she comes off the bat. On to the 9th we go, tied at 6. That will bring up Brie Ellis.
Erica, I don't think I'd be pitching to her right here either. She wouldn't be getting anything close to the strike zone.
Pitched around
even with
her.
nobody on.
Yeah, pitched. It was an intentional walk, basically, as you mentioned. Erickson was set up in the left-handed portion of the behind the left-handed batter's box in the catcher's box. So Ellis up there takes ball 1 against Brown. Ellis hit it hard in the first to Falby in center. Singled in a run and scored in the 3rd. Singled in a run in the 4th. Walked in the 6th and again in the 7th. 19 home runs for Brie Ellis. And a foul came in with an OPS leading the nation at 1862.
Đi xuống lau, khẩn trương. Đi xuống dưới nhà lau.
2-1, the count to the senior from Houston. This one is lifted to deep right center field. It is back at.
She's a professional hitter. She gets it done in the biggest moments for Arkansas, just when it felt like Florida had all of the momentum in this ball game. This is a changeup outside. We saw her hit a changeup out in yesterday's ball game. She gets a changeup the opposite direction, drives it, gets that backspin, gets that carry, and it carries out of the yard to give the Razorbacks the one-run lead in extra innings.
Saw Shoemaker got a little piece of her glove on it.
Almost
she was that
had
close.
It. Almost had it.
Brown did not throw her a strike. That was not over the plate.
No, but that's why I'm saying I wouldn't even come close to even the batter's box in general. I just would have put her on first base, not even give her an opportunity to swing the bat. And I get the mindset of, after she hits that hard foul ball down the left field line, try to get her to swing at something out of the zone, slow, low, and away. But she is just seeing the ball so well right now.
Fly ball to Falby. She's got it. And Wyckoff is retired, 2 down.
And what a big swing by her, too.
Her 68th career home run, Madison. Her second of the series. Her third hit today.
And she hits a pitch that probably, 99% of hitters wouldn't be able to hit out to right field, but she can get it done, and she did.
How many would even offer at it? But like you said, if it's anything around the plate, she was going to be hunting for it, and she got it. She went oppo with it to put Arkansas in front in the ninth.
Yeah, most of the time you get fooled on a changeup. If you're out in front, you just try to bloop it out to right field if you're a right-handed batter. But just the way that she's able to utilize her rotation in her upper body, she sends that ball out of the yard.
I know it's early April. There's still a lot of softball to be played, still a lot of time to debate and talk about National Player of the Year, but her resume is quite long and impressive.
The
right
numbers
now.
are so impressive that we keep thinking that maybe they're typos because they are that good.
That's a base hit through the right side for Ella McDowell, who is on base again. That is her 4th hit today, her 7th hit of the series.
And she takes a changeup outside and just pokes it right through that 3-4 hole. Everything that Ella McDowell has hit today has been square right on the sweet spot of that barrel.
Ball 1 to Riho. She singled back in the 6th. Reached on a fielder's choice her last time. One and 1. How close was Shoemaker to getting this? Oh, she got quite a bit of glove on it. Actually, even when she came down, you don't see it because we zoomed in just to see how close, which was a great look to see how much of that glove got hit by the ball. But she almost had that look up like, ooh, like I had it there, and I just couldn't pull it in.
Both you and I immediately, our eyes go straight to the glove when she landed back in on the warning track to see if that ball was in her glove.
Expecting her to raise that glove up with a ball in it, showing everybody. 3-1 the count now to Rio. Ball 4-2 aboard here with 2 down for Arkansas. Back in the first inning, Reagan Walsh's home run was in and out of the glove of Reagan Kramer. Similar, it wasn't close to being secure, but it caught a lot of the webbing. This one caught the outside of Shoemaker's glove. It is hard to keep Brie Ellis in the park right now. Here's Davison. She will not be just a footnote in the history of this game, as Van Brakel Pro Throw wants to come out and talk to Ava Brown, who's thrown 66 pitches now in relief. Davison was at the plate in the moment that led to a 25-minute delay. In the end, it didn't result in a run, and Florida came storming off the field, but give Robin Herron credit. She kept things nice and calm in the circle for Arkansas. Florida couldn't get anything going in the 8th inning, and now in the 9th inning, Ellis putting Arkansas in front by 1.
I wonder what the longest video review / protest.
Madison, I'm going to tell you right now with all sincerity, if we did not set the record today, I weep for the people who hold the record. Want to know the count to Davison. Line shot foul. They moved up the start time of this game in order to have a chance for this game to end in time for everybody to see the Final Four game between Florida and Auburn. Now I think there's real conversation as to whether or not this game will end before that game ends between Florida and Auburn in the Final Four. This one is hit well to center field. Falby moving back. Track, wall. She's got it to retire the side. But
the momentum in this game shifted all the way back over to Arkansas's side.
1-1 the count to Ava Brown. Brown 0 for 2. Pinch hit for Comia back in the fourth. Heron so far has been charged with just 1 run and has just given up 1 hit. That 1 run was the home run, and that's the only hit, the first batter that Heron faced, Mia Williams. Line shot, that's foul.
Probably the best swing that we've seen today off of a changeup from Heron is that foul ball that Ava Brown just hit down the left field line. You get the feeling, too, it's going to have to be a right-handed batter to go up there and try to take away that changeup. But even the righties haven't been able to square it up. That one just barely misses foul down the left field line.
Go! 2-2. That'll be out of play. Peyton Burnham started. Faced 2 batters in the fourth, giving way to Heron. Heron gets the strikeout. 1 down here in the ninth.
After she fouled off that changeup down the left field line, she did not see another one the rest of this at bat, and Robin Heron goes with the rise ball up and away. You see it running away from the barrel of Ava Brown. Some good late sharp movement on that pitch up in the zone.
To Riley Holtorf. Came up on her, and the tying run is aboard here in the ninth for Florida, so the winning run will come to the plate.
Second time today that Riley Holtorf has been hit up at the plate, too. I think Robin Heron was asking if she leaned in to that pitch.
Courtney Deifel is asking the same thing to our plate umpire right now. And she's asking for a video review. Take a first look and see.
The question is where does the ball make contact with her, and is she leaning into that pitch? Hits her on that arm guard, no question about that, but was that elbow hanging over outside of the batter's box? As a batter, you have the right to the batter's box. You don't have to move out of the way of the pitch if the pitch is fully inside the batter's box, but you can't lean outside of the batter's box to get hit by the pitch.
So the call on the field is hit by a pitch. Is there enough here for the call to be changed would be the question. All right, let's see.
See the look here. It looks like her elbow.
From that angle, it doesn't look like she's out over the middle of the plate. Heron's looking right away like, well, at least it doesn't have to be in the middle. It could just be part of the plate. But
I think you're looking at two things, too. Like, is her elbow outside of that batter's box? And where is that ball making contact with her?
all right, let's look at from that angle one more time. So let's see the movement. Is it you're looking to see as we blow it up?
So it looks like her elbow's already outside of the batter's box. To me, I think Robin Heron might have a point there. That elbow looks like it's hanging just over that chalk line of the batter's box.
So once again, being reviewed in Birmingham. Our last review made its way all the way up.
I was just about to say, do we start the timer?
The chain of command to the NCAA office. I'm sure the timer reluctantly has been started by our crew. Do you care to predict what the reaction will be if this call is changed? Hey, Haley and Rachel. That was not a thrilled look on your face. Better. Oh, it's been upheld. To get the reactions while we were getting our hardworking crew, no change. So the call's upheld.
Yeah, and I think that's why it's so important what the call on the field is.
Yes.
So the call on the field was that she was hit by the pitch, so they're looking for that indisputable video evidence to change it. And when we're going back and forth, I think that's why that call stood on the field.
All right, so here's Falby. Tying run at first, winning run at the plate. 1 out in the 9th. Falby singled and scored in the first. Walked in the 3rd, 0 for 2 since then. 1-1. Kendra's got a couple of home runs this year, had a couple of home runs last year, if you're thinking walk-off. One. Out of play, and it's 1-2. Of course, with her speed, a walk-off inside the park home run isn't out of the question for Kendra Falby.
She's been known to hit a triple or two throughout her career, too.
She has 1 triple this season. Here's the 1-2 from Heron. 2-2.
You see her going back and forth in this at-bat, too, between the slap and swinging away.
Did she check on the appeal? Yes, she did check. Get a little aggressive here with Holtorf on the 3-2 pitch. Do you send her in motion? There she goes, the ground ball. Only plays at first, and Ellis is off the bag. Falby safe. Holtorf at second. She was in motion. First and second, 1 out for Florida here in the 9th.
Kendra Falby hits this one on the ground and hustles down that first baseline. It looked like Atalia Rijo was going to have a play on this ground ball. I wonder if for a brief second she thought about throwing 2 before she made that throw over to first base. But either way, 2 Gators now on board.
And here is Taylor Shoemaker. Ball 1. It scored a hit for Falby. her second hit of the game. Shoemaker is 0 for 3, walked back in the first. Homered off of Heron last night. This is for a ball, it's 2-0.
Struck her out on a changeup in the last at-bat and primarily stayed outside. The home run that you mentioned, Eric, was a pitch that was on the inner half of the plate that Shoemaker turned on and hit out to right field. So far in this at-bat, staying outside with those curveballs.
There's a strike, it's 2-1.
Looked like she missed her spot a little bit on that pitch, too. Worked back inside.
She threw 113 pitches in the win yesterday. She's up to 92 in relief today. Here comes number 93 from Robin Heron. There's the changeup. Shoemaker couldn't get it. It's 2-2.
I'd throw it again, throw it down there in the dirt. See if you can get her to chase at another changeup.
Shoemaker with 14 home runs on the season to lead the team. Here's the 2-2 from Heron. Slow roller to Ellis. Nothing happening there. We'll get the out at first. 2 outs. Second and third now for the Gators. Down a run in the ninth, but down to their final out. Jocelyn Erickson is due. 0 for 4 today, 0 for 3 last night. She was 1 for 4 in the Auburn series. SEC Player of the Year last year, in a big spot here for the Gators.
With the way that Robin Heron is pitching out there, you almost have to decide as a batter, are you going to go after the curveball or the rise ball, a combination of those two, or are you going to decide to go after and hunt that changeup, taking a chance that she's going to bring it up in the strike zone. Erickson's last at-bat, she fouled out to the catcher on a fly ball, and that one was on a changeup.
Holtorf, the tying run at third, and they're going to try to work outside, but that caught a lot of the plate, but it was low for a ball. So they're going to work around Erickson and load the bases here in the ninth inning, or at least try to. They'll put it on the bat of Corby Otis, who waits on deck. What do you think of this decision by Arkansas, Maddie, to load the bases?
I like the decision. I think that you go ahead and you put the pressure on Corby Otis. She did have a hit in yesterday's ball game against Robin Heron. But with Jocelyn Erickson and what she's done, you go ahead and put her on and see if Corby Otis can come through.
For the first time today, the bases are loaded for Florida. Down a run, 2 outs in the ninth, and here is Otis. Strike one. Otis singled in a run and scored in the first, flied out in the third, again in the fifth, walked in the eighth. As Maddie mentioned, singled against Heron last night. The 0-1.
This swing by Corby Otis, she was ready for it. She got this rise ball up and outside. Her swing tailor-made for pitches up in the zone. She goes after what she wants, she gets it, and she sends it the opposite way out of the yard. Walk-off grand slam for Corby Otis. No moment bigger for her than right there. They walk Jocelyn Erickson to get to Otis, and she's able to come through to win this ball game and even up this series for Florida.
They celebrate on the field. Somewhere back under the stadium, Tim Walton is celebrating. A gutty, gritty win by the Gators. as they pull it out by a final score of 10-7 in a game that took 3 hours and 32 minutes. Great job by our crew here from Madison Shipman and our crew.